Hello and welcome to a brand new episode. This week's guest is motorsport superstar Mattias Ekström. He's a two-time DTM champion and is also World Rallycross champion. Away from this, he's also competed in Swedish touring cars, NASCAR and a host of other racing disciplines. This year, he's driving for the apt Cupra XE team in the brand new racing series Extreme E. We caught up ahead of the second round in Senegal to chat about his Extreme E experience so far, racing in general, and much, much more. I hope you enjoy our conversation. Hi, Mattias. Thanks for being here. How are you this morning?
I'm fine. Thank you very much. How are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you. Now, the first thing I wanted to ask you about is Extreme E. What was the first round like for you?
Yeah, I think it was, in terms of enjoyment when I was in the car, was pretty high. Unfortunately, our weekend took a little bit different route as we had the accident. So the car was broken very early on Saturday. So our aim to go and fight for the win didn't happen. So I turned out I had to spend Saturday afternoon, evening as a mechanic with Mark, supplying and helping. So yeah, that took a different route than I was hoping for. But anyway, we had sorry to say, but we had a lot of fun, even with the actions that happened.
That's not a bad thing, though, is it?
No, Mark and me, I think we had a lot of fun and we were joking and had a good mood. And even though everything turned into shit when it turns to result, we still had a great time.
That's the important thing there. So, I mean, aside from the driving them, because I mean, you're saying you didn't get as much of that in as you would have liked for the obvious reason there, but from when you did, how different is it from what you've been doing before in terms of racing?
No, the cars are very different to drive for sure as the electric, and they're also pretty difficult to drive. I mean, for various reasons, they are a handful to drive, and I think that's also what and why things happen.
It's yeah. So then, going off that, then what was it about Extremely that attracted you in the first place?
I think the format of having a rallycross style thing, that was what I say like this committed to, because we Abt and Cupra were, or at that time Abt was the first team to commit, and I was also very early in committing. But at that time, I had no idea it would be girls on board.
Was that, as you say, you're joining fairly early then, were you ever looking at other teams, or was it always going to be Abt that you just wanted to get in there straight away early on?
No, I am, since I Abt boy since long, and it was pretty natural that it would end up with doing something with Abt. I mean, I haven't thought of how it would be to compete against Abt yet. I haven't done that, so, and haven't really considered it either. So, no, it was. Yeah, I think so.
So then I think it's fair to say that you've had a fairly successful career in motorsport up to now. What made you want to go racing in the first place, though, way back when?
No, my father was driving a bit. So I got a little bit of motorsport from his side. So I did some karting and started circuit racing. And I had no idea my career would take this path, because it went so fast in the early days that I was really surprised and shocked how fast it went.
And before you know it, you're in DTM and World Rallycross and everything else.
Yeah, no, it was a big surprise that it would end up like this. But again, I have been enjoying, and I'm still enjoying every moment that I can go and do this sport, because it is very cost, how to say, a lot of cost and budgets, and that's always a challenge in motorsport to get the good drive in any category. So I'm super excited to have a good team and be in good series, and also been doing it for many years in the past.
So then you were DTM champion twice and World Rallycross champion once. How difficult was it for you to transition from one racing discipline to the other, or was it fairly smooth?
I think I have always been doing a lot of stuff. trying to do something outside of DTM all the time. So when I had DTM as my bread and butter, I was always trying to do rallying or something. Actually, Mark was visiting me Swedish Rally in 2004, I guess. He came there and was freezing his feet off and was enjoying that. But I've been trying to keep my versatility of driving a lot of different sports cars and all this, because I always had in mind that one day I will probably do something which is not DTM. So I think now I can only be happy and say it was cool that I took those decisions to, doing the NASCAR, the rallycross and the Le Mans and all of what I've done actually. So creating the knowledge of being able to do other categories.
Do you think that's given you a bit of a competitive edge then in terms of driving for Extreme E, for like future rounds then against other drivers?
Yeah, of course. I still think it's if you're able to do and understand more type of surfaces and more type of cars and more different type of formats, you will definitely put you in a situation where you're stronger. So, I mean, still we have to prove ourselves in me to go and get the first trophy, but we will definitely go there and try and win the race.
So then what is one of the most important things that racing's taught you, either to use in like future racing that you've then done afterwards or for life?
I mean, the only thing I've learned being with Abt over the years, it's everything comes down to preparation. So you win races home in the garage. And I think that is something also try and teach my kids, that you have to be well prepared for anything. It doesn't matter if it's biking, tennis, motorsport or anything. If it's a simple training session or if it's a match or a holiday, whatever, everything is sorted out at home in preparation. And that's what I've learned from Abt as well.
It's a pretty good mentality to live by, I think, preparation being everything there. Do you have any crazy stories from racing that you enjoy telling? You're saying about that you're working on the car with Mark in Saudi Arabia. There is anything similar to that or a bit crazy that you'd be open to share?
I think one of the wildest stories in terms of not driving, I think the Extreme E race in Alula in Saudi Arabia, working on the car with there was 3 mechanics. It was me, as I were allowed to work, and then Mark as a PR guy and our marketing guy. They were taking care of those guys from PR and marketing took care about spare parts collection, and I were working like 8 to 10 hours to help the guys to repair the car. And I think that's one of the coolest things I've done in motorsport so far, not as a driver, I must say. I mean, we have done smaller things, but compared to our Al Ula weekend, they're nothing even worth mentioning.
Was it quite a contrast then? Because I mean, the last year's been tricky for a lot of reasons, but then suddenly you're just in the middle of the desert fixing this electric rally car, and like, how have I got here?
I mean, I think a lot of people were surprised that I were working there, because I mean, that's the only thing I studied was a car mechanic 1 year, but I've always put a lot of effort into understanding the technical side. So I enjoyed it, but I think again, I think many people were surprised when they said, I can help you. It started off, the team manager said, can you go and pick up parts? No, I'm not sure. The PR guy and marketing guys for this, I can help you work. And I think they didn't know that I actually could. So yeah, I had a good time. And I think that was also a moment where you had to, was been difficult for them. So all the man hours I put it in, at least I know was helpful.
Do you think then, you're saying that that's the only thing you really studied, do you think that also gives you an advantage when you're driving then, because you can maybe feel what's going on underneath the car a bit more, in terms of maybe other drivers who have to base it all off instinct rather than having that technical knowledge on their side?
No, I think definitely learning the to understand a bit of the hardware, I think is, and software is helping any driver to understand how to set up the car, or when there are problems, what they could be. So you have a mechanical feeling and a software feeling for the car is always going to be helpful.
And then first round aside, because I think that was challenging in a lot of ways already, which round that is left on the calendar of Extreme E do you think is going to be the most challenging this year?
That's the coolest thing with this. I don't know what to expect in each place, but just from feeling, I've never been to Dakar. I've never been to Greenland. So those two places, I really look forward just to go there in a way. The last two places, I don't really know what to expect, but Greenland and Dakar is definitely places I look forward to go to. Even though I must admit, to go to Dakar with all these health things, yellow fever and the malarias and the mosquitoes and all this. I have a bit of respect for that, but I feel I'm prepared. I've taken all the pills, and I will on Monday go and do the last shopping for the spray with this DEET and all that. So I feel I've been doing as much as I can to protect myself.
Fingers crossed then. Just to switch it up slightly then, with a couple of non-racing questions. Do you have a favorite film?
Man, I'm so bad on films and on books, because my time is actually not enough to do all that. I mean, I know I would have to do more of it, but I feel oh man, I'm so poor, I should do more of it, but I don't do what. No, I don't. For the moment, I would need, with my schedule I have, Mark has said before the call that he asked, where do you get your energy from? Yeah, I'm not sure, but I don't have much time left for anything else.
And if you hadn't become a racing driver, what do you think you would have done instead?
That's a really good question. I've probably been working in my father's company, doing something at home. I was thinking to become a lawyer, because I thought it was interpretation of things and being prepared and all that. I somehow had a few years I enjoyed, but yeah, I'm quite happy, and I'm really not sure what would have happened without motorsport.
So if I had your career, I wouldn't be complaining too much either, I don't think so. Finally, what's one thing that you've always wanted to try but haven't yet? Racing or anything else?
Yeah, I have been trying to do all the things I wanted to. If it's something, a modern WRC car that they're driving this year would be really cool to try. I would like to one day, before I quit, to drive a modern Formula One car as well. Would also be really cool. Yeah, it doesn't have to be long or much, just to have a feel of the sensation of the cars. More than this, I am, for the moment, pretty happy living life with family and kids, and yeah.
I can't think of a better way to finish it off then. It's been a pleasure to chat to you, and good luck with your next round of Extreme and the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Just listening to Mattias, you can hear the experience and the passion he has for racing, and that he's reveling in the challenges that Extreme E are sending his way. It was great to chat with him, and I want to thank Mattias again for his time. Also want to wish him and the rest of the Abt Cupra team the best of luck for the next round in Senegal and the rest of the Extreme E season. Join me again soon when I'll be chatting to another famous face from the world of motorsport. And in the meantime, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and check out the other videos on my channel. Away from YouTube, you can find me over on Drive Tribe, and feel free to also follow me on Instagram at t.albers.daily.drivetribe. You can also find me over on GP Grandstand TV, where I'm part of their weekly podcast. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you again soon.